This is Psalms chapter 64, verse 5 through 6. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and bishop and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and blessing be multiplied on you, Akim, pushing this word in all sincerity and in truth. To the hopeful elect, 144,000, Shalom. This is the brother Dama Agabar here with another lesson. Lord willing to edify and defeat the lambs and sheep of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. As you can see, I started this lesson with Psalms, the 64th chapter, dealing with the evilness and the snares that are being laid, privately behind closed doors, behind secret meetings, behind, the super elite that really run and rule this current world that we're in. All right. And these devils are getting ready to set a major snare and a trap in the form of this WHO pandemic treaty, which they are about to put into law. And they're doing it, in the midst of all of these distractions while people are, dealing with their day-to-day struggles. People are out here partying and BSing. People are worried about the migrant crisis. People are struggling with their financial situations. You got all these different things taking place. But, behind closed doors, hey, these devils are getting ready to pass some major unrighteous decrees and establish themselves with a unelected, unselected, unvoted by the people type of power structure that's going to bring everybody into their knees. All right. And, like we've been telling you and warning you, Jake, out there, hey, we told you that another lockdown was going to come. And now we hearing all this talk of this, avian bird flu. People are getting infected. Now it's getting into animals and cats and dogs. And then eventually it's going to spread from animal to human, which is something that's very, very difficult and very, hard to happen. But somehow, some way, hey, this is going to be the narrative they're going to spin to bring in more lockdowns and to basically have the ability to lock you people in your house and, run this type of dictatorship that's going to bring you people to your knees. All right. And I was reading, I got two articles I want to show you, but this first one says here, the WHO's pandemic treaty and a bird flu crisis are both arriving at the same time. And if you think these two things just happen to be coincidence or it's just some, random occurrence, then you don't know what the hell is really going on. All right. These things are being orchestrated. These things are being perfectly timed out, and they're going to be used and implemented by these elites to get the desired results. All right. They're going to get their new world order started. All right. They're about to, use, this bird flu as the next way to lock down everything and to finish what they started with the C-19er. But this time, hey, it's going to be far more draconian. They're going to come down with way more wrath. Laws are going to be that much more tighter, and what ultimately is going to make it be that much more brutal is because it's going to be ran by unelected officials, people that the average American citizens, you didn't get to vote on. You didn't have a say in it. The people that are going to be set up to do this thing are going to be chosen and selected by the powers that be. And they're going to follow every strict order. All right. And you better believe that, they're going to trample on your so-called constitutional rights here. All right. Your mayors, your governors, your city officials, your councilmen, they're not going to have any say so or any, voice in the matter, regardless of how draconian or how unfair or how unrighteous these, the WHO pandemic treaty decides is going to be final, and nobody can buck up against it. You can't have, you can't use religious exemptions or any other type of exemptions to go outside of whatever these devils are going to come down the pipe with. And this is why we know that, both of these things are working hand in glove. All right. This whole flu crisis is going to be used to establish a lot of unrighteous. Then they're going to use this to take control over the food supply. They're going to start telling you that food is contaminated, milk is contaminated, dairy farm cows are contaminated, beef is contaminated. And now they're going to tell you that, Now it's spreading from from animal to human. And now you're going to start seeing, cats are infected, dogs are infected. So you can't have dogs and cats. And now people are going to be affected. And they're going to lay it on real thick with this one, man. And they might even, like I said, release a lot of this shit intentionally and tell you that it's mutated from animal to human, which is unheard of, which is something that's very, and hard to happen, but somehow it's going to happen. You see, so you got to buckle up and be prepared and know that this shit is not a coincidence. All right. So I'm going to read through some of this article, and I got another article I want to show you that, hey, this devil is this is nothing more than a snare and a trap of the elites to get the desired results, which is to lock everything down and to bring in this NWO, to bring in social credit scores. All right. To bring in, to use this as, to use this to push their bullshit climate change agenda. To ultimately and also and for them to be able to start injecting you people with all type of shit. And from this one little, pandemic treaty, they can deem anything a fucking a pandemic or a crisis. It can be anything, any type of sickness, any type of whatever. And you better believe whatever they're going to say is the new pandemic, they're going to have shots and vaccines and all these required things you're going to need to take in order to, to operate. This time, like in the C-190, when they told you if you didn't have your shot, you couldn't go to restaurants, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. You had to show proof that you were spiked up. And it's going to be the same with this. All right. If you don't take your H5N1 required juice, you can't go to work. You can't get on the train. You can't leave your house, man. All right. It's going to be very, very wild and very crazy out here, man. So these things are getting ready to happen. And what a time that is happening right before the so-called elections, right before, they know that Trump has a good chance of winning this election. They can just bring this shit on and be like, oh, look, we're going to halt the election because we have this new pandemic and it's out of control. We got to lock things down. We got to get it under control. So, hey, man, we're entering into these evil times, man. But it says health officials are issuing very ominous warnings about the potential for H5N1 pandemic among humans at the same time that the WHO is preparing for a vote on the global pandemic treaty at the 77th World Health Assembly at the end of this month. You see, and it's not a coincidence. You see. These things are not happening just randomly. All right. Because they want to bring one. They're going to bring the crisis, and then they're going to allow this treaty to be signed, which is going to give them the power that they need to basically lock everything down. And you'll see. It says the global pandemic treaty will give the World Health Organization far more authority than it had during the last P. And a lot of people are deeply concerned about how that power will be used during the next major health crisis. And it's going to be used straight draconian. They're going to use it this time to make sure that you're going to be completely locked down indefinitely. All right. They're going to use this to control, just about every aspect of your life. And it's going to lead to the next thing, to the next thing, till eventually they're going to bring in this NWO. All right. And it's all wicked. It's all unrighteous, man. Because like I said, these people that they're voting to be the head of this, they're not being voted in by the people. They're not going through, the proper channels to where, they can be voted in and selected by the people for the people. The powers that be are putting these demons in power. And, I'm pretty sure that they're probably going to be of the JOO sort, people that are, cronies and goons for the agenda, who are going to go along with every single, agenda of the powers that be to get what they want. It says, as you will see below, 2 more human cases of the bird flu have been confirmed. The bird flu mutates into a form that can spread easily from human to human that will create an enormous amount of fear. You see, and that's what they want, fear. And they're going to use fear as a way to get control, because the more people are afraid, the more that they're scared, the more they're willing to give away more of their freedoms and their rights for some form of protection. But as the scripture tell you, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction is going to come upon you, man. And this is nothing more than a snare and a trap of these devils to gain more control to put you people in a situation that you can't get yourself out of, but they're going to present it as for your protection and as your safety. But one thing you have to understand, that whatever this devil is telling you something is, it's the complete opposite, man. You see, because that's how the devil operates. That's how Satan works. That's how sorcery and deception works. They're telling you one thing, but it's really another. All right. So that's why we can't be ignorant of Satan's devices, man. And that's why you can never trust this devil, man, because everything that he does has an ulterior motive to it. It says, in such an environment, what sort of extreme measures would the World Health Organization decide to institute? Permanent lockdowns, forced injections, prison time, prison time for anybody who was speaking out against what the hell they're doing, saying otherwise. And, and they're going to be able to use this to clamp down on free speech. They're going to use this also to clamp down and lock down anybody who does post videos or go on X or Twitter, go on YouTube eventually, and you're out calling this shit out and exposing it. Hey, the WHO can have the power to lock you up and throw you in prison, man. So the powers that they can be given as far as concerning this can be very broad. Not only are they going to have power to deal with how the pandemic should be treated and what we got to do, what measures should be in place. Hey, they can also put in there to clamp down on free speech and to come up against anybody who speaks out against what the WHO is doing, their tactics, how they're going about it. Hey, you can be rounded up and grabbed up and thrown in prison. So this is a very, a very evil situation that these devils are trying to bring about. It says, in recent weeks, negotiators have been feverishly working to finalize the global peace treaty. The following one comes up. I'm not going to read that part. It says, well, here in the United States, the mainstream media has been strangely quiet about this treaty, but it is a really big one. Negotiations have been taking place for the last 2 years, and the plan is to submit the final draft for a vote at the World Health Assembly at the end of this month. You see, and everybody, like I said, everybody that's being voted into this thing, you people don't have any say so. You don't even know who the hell they are. But they're going to give an unelected body of people the power to do some very tremendous and very big things here all around the world, because it's all ultimately a global agenda to bring in this new world order. All right. And all these different countries and these nations, they're all working together to bring it. It says the 77th World Health Assembly will be held in Geneva, Switzerland from May 27th to June 1st. Member nations will cast their votes on the final draft of the Global Peace Treaty, and it's fully expected to pass, you see? So they're passing this shit. You people don't have a say-so. You don't have a vote. You don't get to decide who can be at the top, who can be the head, who can be this, or who can be that. They're already selected. And you won't find out who they are until it's finally the treaty is passed, and hey, this thing is in motion. You see, it says if this treaty passes when the next P erupts, the WHO will be running the show. And most people in the general population do not realize this. And the next P may be a lot closer than most of us think. On Wednesday, the CDC announced that there has been another confirmed human case of the the bird FLU in the United States. And this is going to be, this is it. This is going to be the next thing. And you're not going to hear, this thing's only going to get more and more in the news, more and more in your face, more and more to be a problem. You see, and it says a nasal swab for the infected person tested. And they're going to start doing this on everything. They're going to start nasal swapping chicken, cows, beef, dogs, cats, monkeys, rats, people. And then all of a sudden, just like those old PCR tests, they're going to be souped up and hyped up so that every time something is swabbed, it's going to read positive. It's going to have a positive reading, and everything. And everyone, and even their mama is going to be found to be contaminated. And guess what? They're going to bring in these draconian laws, man. You see, like I said, and they're going to use this shit to get control on many fronts. Like I said, they're going to start shutting down more farms. They're going to start telling you that all of the food needs to be regulated and safeguarded by the WHO. And they're going to put somebody in charge to, check all the food before you can consume it. And next thing you know, every single thing is going to be fucking contaminated, to where you people are going to be so afraid to go outside, to walk around, to move about, that they're going to have you right where they want you. All right. So like I said, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. This is very wicked, man. All right. But it's all a snare and a trap, and it's all deception in order to get the desired results, man. All right. And this is Psalms chapter 10, verse 7. It says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So, like I said, everything that comes out of his mouth is mischief, is wickedness, is fraud, it's a lie, it's deception. But he's presented it as, as for your safety, to protect people, to keep things safe. But really, it's for him to get more control and to become a fucking dictator and a tyrant, and to have complete control over everybody's movement and what you can eat and what you can do, just to give himself more power. It says he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in secret places. And what's the secret places? This meeting they're about to have. Now, of course, they're telling you they're having this meeting, but the whole world is not going to be able to be privy to what's really going on in there. They'll give you particular information. They'll show you certain, clips from them having that meeting, but the deeper and more sinister and nefarious things that is being talked about, you're not going to have access or be privy to that. That's all of the secret shit that they're going to do and how they're going to do it and what date and this and that. That's what's taking place at these different secret councils and meetings amongst these wicked, these devils, man. It says, in the secret places does he murder the innocent. All right. And this WHO pandemic is going to murder a lot of people. It's going to destroy a lot of people. All right. It says his eyes are privily set against the poor, you see? And this whole agenda is set privily against all of you American citizens, man. And mainly the poor, which is you tribes, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. Right. And he's lying and he's waiting. And that's why don't be shocked if, he releases something, or he's using this gain of function souped up H5N1 as a weapon to, to catch everybody, to bring in this, to fully bring in this agenda, man. And he's going to catch you when he signs this shit into law, and he gives who the power to do and say and act and get the job done, man. And a lot of you people are going to be snared within this because, like I said, you don't have a vote, you don't have a say so. It's going to pass without your input. And once it's in place, that's it. Who's going to have power even over the president, even over the whole of the United States, man? Over your so-called constitutional rights. And all of those things are going to be null and void because they're going to claim that they're doing it in order to save the planet and to keep you safe. And they're going to tell you again to trust the science, trust the people in charge. All right. But it's all just a snare and a trap to catch you into his net. And once you people are in it, hey, there's going to be no way out of it. It says he croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Yeah, like I said, he's going to come speaking peacefully, and we're just trying to save humanity, and we just want to do what's best for everybody. And it's the WHO has to have this power because they've been preparing for this. They've been spending all this, putting all this money in place so that they could do these things, and when it does happen, they can take care of it better than they did. All the bullshit. And a lot of you simple-minded people are gonna fall for it, and you're gonna believe it until you're destroyed. See? It says, what else is in here? It says, this is not good. Yeah. So like I said, you're gonna start hearing more of. Listen to this one. It says tell you about how the farm workers. Then it says, meanwhile, we just learned that H5N1 is responsible for the death of 4 more cats. 4 more cats have died of H5N1 bird flu in the United States, including 2 pets in South Dakota with no links to poultry or dairy cows. So, like I said, hey, these devils are working. It's very crafty and it's very wicked. Now they got 2 cats that died somewhere far away from a dairy farm so that they can say, see, that we're showing you that this thing is moving. It's highly contagious. Look at how it's moving and operating. Now, random cats just died, It says, according to state and federal officials, at least 14 cats have recently died of the BF. And those cats could have died from any goddamn thing. But see, this is the power they have to deceive. They can say, oh, well, we swabbed the cats and we found after we swabbed them that, oh, they were infected. This is why they died. And that can be the furthest thing from the truth. They could have just died from old age. They could have just died from whatever. But they have the power to deceive and to say that this is how they died, without really having to prove any goddamn thing. It's just, hey, I said so, and that's what it's going to be. And it's going to further, try to, confirm the fact that Everything that they're doing is justified. It says of the newly reported cases, 2 were domestic cats which died at a property in Campbell County in South Dakota, according to a state official in the U.S. Department. So here it is, 2 random cats, house cats died, and all of a sudden now they just randomly found out that they had this shit. Come on, man. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Look, thousands of millions of cats probably die every fucking day in America, man. But you tell me that these 2 random cats just happen to be the ones that was, come on, bro. It says Beth Thompson, a state veterinarian, said there was no livestock on the property where the pets died. No other details regarding how the cats were infected are known at this time. But guess what? They're going to come up with some cockamamie story, and they're going to tell you why. You see? It says if cats start getting sick and dying on a widespread basis, it is probably just a matter of time before the same thing starts. Yeah, see? So it's all going to work hand in glove for these devils. First is going to be the cows. Then you're going to see people getting infected. And then it's going to be animals. Then it's going to be people. And the next thing you know, boom, bam, hey, lock things down again, man. It says we don't know all of the details about the latest cat deaths, but it was being reported that cat that previously died from the H5N1 in Texas experienced brain hemorrhaging and blindness. Does H5N1 have the potential to do that sort of damage to humans? You see, now what they're saying, now there's been cases confirmed in Australia, blah, blah, blah. Global pestilence will play a major role in the era of great chaos that is coming. And that's true. That's prophetic. But we know a lot of these pestilences are going to be orchestrated by the powers that be. All right. And like I said, they're looking to give these devils some major power, man. All right. So let me get this. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Like this whole WHO pandemic shit. They've been working on this shit for the last so-called 2 years. All right. And now all of a sudden that this so-called new sickness is popping up. Now here they come with the BS, man. And now they're about to give, WHO the power to do what they're about to do. And that's going to be completely unrighteous on every level. It says to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. See, and that's what this whole shit is going to do. All right. It's going to take away your rights and it's going to rob you of your so-called God-given rights or your constitutional rights. Look at this. It says 24 GOP governors tell Biden not to sign the WHO pandemic agreement. But I want to read this one point. Yeah, it says governors from 24 states have joined together to speak out against the treaty negotiations being conducted by the Biden administration, which would purport to grant the WHO unprecedented and unconstitutional powers over the United States and its people. You see, like I said, so this is a completely unrighteous decree. And you see that symbol right there, right? Of the snake, the Caduceus, the snake over that staff. That's, that's Esau's, that's nothing more but witchcraft and sorcery, which this whole WHO is under. And you see the sign, it has I think that's supposed to be an olive branch, which is supposed to be peace, which is not peace. And you got the serpent, over that stick, over what? Over the whole earth, a target over the whole earth, which is to bring what? Their medical tyranny and sorcery and witchcraft over the whole world, man. You see? Where's the point? It says the objective of these instruments is to empower the WHO, particularly its uncontrollable dictator general. And that's what the guy who's going to run this shit is going to be called, the dictator general. That sounds like some shit right out of what's that? Not Star Trek. What's the other one? Star Wars, man. The uncontrollable director general with the authority to restrict the rights of the U.S. citizen. You see, like I said, they're totally going to do away with the Constitution with this device and wickedness that they're going to give to the WHO in case of these so-called pandemics. So it would only make sense that if they're going to give the WHO this type of power, that they would, constantly just keep climate change and sicknesses and the pandemic in full effect, just keep it going nonstop so that you can never lose power. And you can always have the world in some form of sickness and pestilence and threat. And watch, now they're going to start saying, oh, we got the H5N1. Oh, my God, now it's disease X. Now this. So they can just let this book, it can just be a uncontrollable, indefinite lockdown. It says, including freedom such as speech. Remember, I said that earlier. privacy, travel, choice of medical care, and informed consent, thus violating our Constitution's core principles, the governor wrote. If adopted, these agreements would seek to elevate the WHO from an advisory body to a global authority in public health. The documents they refer to are a new treaty called the WHO Pandemic Agreement and amendments to the existing international health regulations, which together would centralize a significant amount of authority within the United Nations subsidiary if the WHO declares a state of health emergency. Governors from the following states signed the letter: Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, etc., man. All right. As the negotiations among member nations move into their final phase before the start of the voting session at the World Health Assembly, scheduled to begin on May 27th, the WHO appears to have scaled back some of the powers. All right. But the point being is that, it's going to give them total uncontrollable power, man, over your constitutional rights. So this is why it's going to make sense that they're going to be, this will basically give the WHO power to bring in these UN troops. Why do you think a lot of these migrants have been brought here? So when they bring in, when they have to implement this new lockdown, people are going to fight. People are going to buck up. People are not going to believe it. So this basically gives the WHO the power to, it could be written in that bill to where it can give them power to declare martial law and to bring in UN troops to declare war on the American people and to enforce this shit, man. You see? All right. So, hey, man, this is why, we need Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because it's about to get crazy out here. And this is Psalms 140. It says, prayers for protection against the wicked. It says, deliver me, O Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischief in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. Right. That's what these treaties are all about. These secret councils, these different meetings is how they can declare war on the American people to bring in their new world order. All right. It says they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Selah. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purpose to overthrow my goings. And this is what Esau Edom is doing. This is what this WHO pandemic treaty is all about. All right. And they're going to have other powers in place. That's going to be over, the pandemics. They're going to have another part of it that's going to be in charge of climate change and, all these different branches of this new world order government that they're going to use to bring the people to their knees, to bring in this beast system, put you in 15-minute cities, restrict your, ability to consume resources on this planet, track and trace and monitor every single aspect of your life so that they could, keep the boot on you, constantly keep the boot on your neck and to oppress and to ensnare you to eventually, for him to be God on earth, man. It says, the proud have hid a snare for me and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me, Selah. And that's what this is, man. When it showed you that symbol, this is nothing more but that whole snare being, that net being casted over the whole world is this whole symbol and the WHO and other, alphabet organizations that these devils are about to set up and use to, ensnare the whole world, man. It says, I have said unto Yahweh, thou art my power. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Yahweh. O Yahweh, my power, the strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Grant not, O Yahweh, the desires of the wicked. Further not his wicked device, lest they should exalt themselves. Salah. And that's what this is all about. Them exalting themselves, man. Them trying to establish a digital godhead and further Esau's rulership and grip over this earth via this technology, artificial intelligence, and, climate change, all these different things are being used to, so that they could push these wicked devices and exalt themselves as a technological dictator and God over the earth and over the people. It says, as for the head of those that compass me about, see, who's the head? These elites. The head, these global elites, these Edomites, man. It says, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire, into the deep pits, that they rise not up again. And that's what's ultimately going to happen. But these things must needs be first so that prophecy can be fulfilled. And we know that Esau is going to, do what he's been prophesied to do. And then eventually Yahweh Shai is going to come back and all this shit that he's doing, is going to come crashing down upon him. It says, let not an evil speaker be established in the earth. Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him. I know that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will maintain the cause of the afflicted and the right of the poor, which is ultimately the elect of Israel. All right. We're going to be delivered. We're going to be, protected and delivered ultimately from the grip of this agenda. It says, surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thy name. The upright shall dwell in thy presence. All right. So just wanted to go into this, man, just to show you that, hey, these devils are coming with it and they're not slowing down anytime soon. Hey, the net is being cast, the snare is being laid, and we got to make sure through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that we're warning our people so they're going to get caught and trapped into this net and fall for the okie doke and for the, the bullshit that's going to come with this type of shit, man. And at no times, never trust thine enemy, but put your faith and trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So with that, Lord willing, you are edified. Call halal Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Put the spirit in me to do this lesson. To the next one, Shalom.